What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Classified Arms Reloading, which is the Warzone Season 3 mid-season update. I've got a bunch of really interesting information in here, and not even all of the information has been released yet, but there's enough that I wanted to make a video and talk about it because there's some pretty big stuff in here. But as always, if you guys appreciate the content and the website and all the work I put into this stuff, like and the comment on the video would be really appreciated. It helps us out with the algorithm. And if you want to see more of my Call of Duty content on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. But let's jump into it, and we will talk about Classified Arms Reloaded. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is that Raven Software, who's the developer of Warzone, tweeted out just a couple days ago that with the mid-season update, all of the next-gen consoles, the Xbox Series consoles, will once again support 120 hertz. This is something that all the next-gen consoles had for Verdansk, but for some reason, Caldera must have been too graphically intensive or something, and to start with, they couldn't optimize it enough to push 120 FPS, 120 hertz on those next-gen consoles. But thankfully, finally, with this update, all you guys that are on the next-gen consoles are going to be getting that back. So that's a huge plus for all the console players. Diving into the actual Classified Arms Reloaded pre-patch patch notes, I don't even know what to call these, but they've said this isn't the full information, but this is some of it. So we've got a new fast travel system on Caldera. This is really cool. Hopefully it works a little bit better than the one in Verdansk. You know, we had those underground trains in Verdansk, the subway, and those were very buggy, and the vast majority of the time they would just take you into the gas with no warning at all. So it looks like there's 14 different points around the map, pretty evenly spread out, that you can fast travel to. It looks like they go specifically to a certain one because each one of these has an arrow, so it kind of goes in like a path almost. Maybe some have multiple, so this one has 2 arrows, one going up to mines and one going over to fields. We'll have to see how that works when we actually get in game. Thankfully, if you read through this, down at the bottom here, it says those in the know, like you, after reading this section, can use light and audio cues to figure out if an enemy is on the other side. So I'm assuming this light will be red or something if there's an enemy within, 20 meters of the door on the other side. All you have to do is walk up to this door and interact with it, and you'll instantly travel to the next place. So already that's better than those subway trains were in Verdansk, just because this is going to be instant. And it also says, it says when there's a green light, it's safe. Anything else can mean potential danger. It also says there'll be an indicator going off if you might be going into the gas, or the gas is nearby or closing towards the spot you're about to fast travel to. So those are going to be huge quality of life improvements over the trains that we had in Verdansk. We'll have to see how this plays out, but I think that's a pretty interesting change. These are all going to be in the, if you've seen these bunkers, if you played Caldera recently, there are basically bunker hatches that have been in the game for a while now. So that's where all of these fast travel locations are going to be spread throughout all of Caldera. All you have to do is drop down in there, and then it'll be in that same room in each one of those bunkers. So that's pretty cool. Another really big thing that's coming with Season 3 is a new perk. So this is called Serpentine. It's a perk 1 slot, so it's a blue perk, which means it's going to be competing with like EOD, Cold-Blooded, and those perks. But what this does is anytime you are sprinting, your damage is reduced by 20%. So what this is going to do is, one, it's going to make the snipers that one-shot headshot right now not do that if the other player is sprinting. So like the ZRG, the heavy snipers, the HDR, those kind of snipers are no longer going to be able to one-shot headshot somebody who's sprinting. And just anytime you're sprinting, any gun is going to do 20% less. Same with explosives, same with fire damage. So any damage incoming to you is going to be reduced by 20% while you're sprinting. And they say in here, will it be an auto pick? Not necessarily. I kind of disagree with that. This is kind of a huge perk to me. 20% is a big damage reduction. It's going to allow you to escape from fights that you normally wouldn't have escaped from. And I just think this is going to be a really competitive perk 1 slot. We'll see. Cold-Blooded is great, obviously, because it counters Combat Scout. Combat Scout is excellent because, first of all, the buildings on Caldera seem to be made out of paper. Someone was literally shooting me through concrete the other day, and I don't know what that was about, but seems like people can shoot through everything in Caldera for some reason. And then also there's a lot of like bushes and shrubbery on Caldera, and obviously there's no reduction in damage for penetration through those because those aren't physical objects in the world. So being able to see through those when you're shooting someone is really powerful. So that's why Cold-Blooded is a very good perk. It has other things that it helps with as well, but I just think this 20% reduction to damage while sprinting is going to be very good. I think it probably will be the meta pick. But we'll have to wait and see. It's hard to know these things before they actually come out and you can actually use them and see how the community uses them. But just a 20% damage reduction while sprinting seems absolutely huge to me. They're going to be adding a few interesting new items that drop as well. So we've got Gulag entry token, redeploy extraction, and a couple other things as well. So the Gulag entry token, basically this is going to be in regular supply boxes. If you go to the Gulag and you win or you lose, either way, you've always only had one Gulag opportunity in regular BR. What this token is going to do is it's going to let you basically go to the Gulag again. So if you find this token after you've already competed in a Gulag, if you die again, you'll be able to go back to the Gulag and fight again. So it's kind of like they're trying to mix in a little bit of Rebirth into regular BR, and I think they're probably doing that because they're seeing how successful Rebirth Island has been. There are going to be people that hate that. There are going to be people that like that. I think it's interesting as long as they're not too common. I think one of the things that makes BRs so popular is the slight randomness to the items that drop and things like that. That's a big reason that BRs were really popular, and Warzone kind of mixed that up a little bit because Warzone had loadouts. So no longer was it, getting lucky and getting the right weapon drop, because you could just get your loadout, but they're kind of mixing that back in with perks that drop, mixing that back in with, Gulag entry tokens, things like that. And then the next item is the redeploy extraction. This is the same thing. It's a token just like that, only you don't even have to fight the Gulag if you get this. So you'll just instantly respawn if you die. I'm assuming that this will happen and it won't use up your Gulag if you haven't used the Gulag yet. So again, they're trying to mix in, they're mixing in the Rebirth gameplay mechanics into regular BR. And I think both of these are going to be super rare items. It says that the redeploy extraction token is like beyond a legendary item. And the Gulag entry token is already a legendary item, so they shouldn't drop very much. But it's kind of interesting to me. It mixes in a little bit more of that RNG for your squad, gives you more of an incentive to loot, again, just like the perks that drop out of boxes now. I don't think it's a bad change. We'll see. We'll see how it goes and see how common they are. If they're all over the place, it might be a little bit annoying, but overall, not too bad. Another thing that's dropping is a speed boost. So this is something that if you ever played Clash was like almost like a TDM mode that takes place on one of the BR maps. They did this in Verdansk. They've done this in Caldera as well. When you kill someone or you open a box in Clash, you can get a speed boost token, and basically it gives you probably like 140% movement speed for, I don't know, 5 or 10 seconds. It doesn't last very long, but it allows you to have, basically it's like using a stim the whole time. Like if the whole 10 seconds you're stimming essentially, except it doesn't bring your health back like a stim, but it gives you just insane slide speed and insane movement speed. And that's pretty much what this is going to be, I think. But in a BR mode, it's kind of a little odd to me, and I don't think it's really going to be very useful, because how often are you going to get this when you're in a fight? Like, it'll be really useful if you get it like right at the start of a game. If you do a hot drop and you loot up some boxes and you get a speed boost, that'll be nice. But if it only lasts like 5 or 10 seconds, the chances that you're looting mid-fight and you get this and you can actually use it, I think will be pretty low. So I don't know, interesting addition, but I'm not sure how much it's going to be actually useful. And then the last up is the radar jammer. So this is something just like the PDS. It essentially is something that will scramble the attack map of any enemy players. So anyone that's in your vicinity, if you have the radar jammer and you use it, it'll scramble the attack map. They won't be able to see you on the map. They won't be able to see where you are on the mini map. It's going to be a rare drop as well. And again, it's like the PDS, which is the basically the gas protection bubble item. So it replaces like armor boxes, ammo boxes, dead silence. That's where the slot this goes into. It's a field upgrade. Kind of interesting. I mean, I think that's a fine addition. It's just something that's been in Call of Duty for a long time. So to bring it into Warzone, I think is a good thing. Next thing that they've talked about adding in this Season 3 mid-season update, finally we get those high-value loot zones. Basically what this is going to be is areas on the map that are going to be, it'll probably be like a yellow circle or something on the map when the game starts, and that's going to be indicated as a high-value loot zone. So a lot of people are going to want to drop there because there's going to be a ton of loot, ton of money, probably a bunch of perks, and a bunch of these new things are going to be there, redeploy tokens, things like that. So basically if you drop there, it's going to be just a super hot drop, but you have the potential to get really good items. They've talked about how, peak is still going to be peak and everyone's going to want to drop peak, but I think what they're trying to do is kind of, again, introduce a little bit more of that RNG and make hot drop spots kind of move around the map rather than just having one set hot spot like peak. I think they want to have the ability to kind of make those hot drop spots different areas around the map. So I think that's what they're going for here, and I think it's pretty cool. We'll see. Hopefully it's not like ridiculous loot. I hope it's not like you're totally decked out with everything after you come out of one of these high loot values or high loot zones, but we'll see. I think it's a cool addition. They're also going to add a new mode called Champion of Caldera. This is going to be a solos mode from what I understand about reading this. So it's 150 players. One of the big differences is the gas is going to be constantly closing rather than having, periods where it doesn't close at all. It'll be a slowly, constantly closing map. They've said they've tweaked the drops in this mode to be more towards like legendary rarity, just because they want more unique things in here. You also spawn in with your loadout. You spawn in with a gas mask and one redeploy token. So if you die once, you'll come back. Basically, it seemed like everything they are trying to do with this mode is just encourage aggressive gameplay and fast-paced gameplay. So I think this could be pretty fun. We'll see. They don't mention anything about player health, if that's any different. So I'm assuming it's still going to be 300 health. Yeah, it's just a new mode. Could be interesting. I don't think we've ever had a constantly closing circle. I could be wrong. But yeah, it sounds interesting. A lot of differences to this mode. I'll definitely give it a try. There were a couple other small changes to like Rebirth Island and things that I'm not going to cover in this because they just didn't seem like big changes to me. But I'll link to these pre-patch patch notes for you guys if you want to check out all of this and read about it yourselves. But yeah, I just wanted to cover all this. I think Serpentine is huge. The new transit system is going to be really useful as well. Don't really have much else to talk about in this video, but hopefully we get the real patch notes soon and we can go over all of this, all the weapon changes and everything. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a great day and you have a good rest of your day. Just wanted to get this info out to you. I think Serpentine is going to be meta for sure, but we'll see. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching and I'll see you all in the next video.